the ability to speak on camera without the script, without the crew, without the studio, without the cameras, the lights, just by simply using the phone and what's available. When it comes to working out, a lot of times people tend to, at the beginning of their journey, they think they have to buy the right clothing, have the right accessories, the right supplements. They go out and they spend hundreds, sometimes even thousands of dollars on essentially unnecessary things for the journey. Because when you start with fitness, the foundations are eating right, eating clean, being consistent, having a good work ethic by getting in there every day and putting a decent amount of effort, and adequate rest, right? These are really the only requisites. And if you don't have those foundations built, no matter what you add, what supplement you add, what belt you buy, whatever clothing brand or whatever you're wearing, all these things those are secondary. And they're more for fun. They add to the journey. But if you don't have the foundations of nutrition, the workouts, and the rest, you don't understand that through and through, those other things, you're like, it's trying to think of a good, it's like building a house with no doors and only windows, right? Yeah, the windows add and they're very important, but how are you gonna get in and out the house if you don't have doors? But you can build a house with doors but no windows. See what I'm saying? Anyways, having the foundation of anything you build is the most important part of anything you're learning to do. So when it comes to filming content, instead of telling yourself you need the right camera, you need somebody to record you, you need the right mics, you need a studio editor, learning to simply speak to the camera and doing that off rip, whenever the time calls, and practice doing that day in and day out, and just getting comfortable on camera and being able to flow in a conversation by yourself to your phone, your camera, to an audience. Because when you learn to do this is the foundation. The ability to speak on camera, the ability to think on the spot, and the ability to be consistent doing it day in and day out. The more you do this, the better you're gonna get at it. That is the foundation. The type of camera does not matter. The lighting, yeah, these things matter. The lighting, it makes it look better, but that's never going to fix a boring conversation. A camera crew, of course, that's going to make it better, but that's never going to create viewer retention if you're not sounding coherent, you're rambling, you're not confident, you're not speaking, you're not communicating in a way that makes people want to stick around and watch the video. So if you can learn, we all have phones these days. Use it. Use the phone. Take that phone, pull that camera out, and practice talking to your phone for 5 to 10 minutes per day. Learn to do that. Do it every day. Do it a few times a day. Think about all the times throughout your day you have 5 to 10 minutes to spare. Whether you have a busy work day, whether you're busy doing things at house with the family, yard work, cooking, clean, whatever. Do without all these different things. You have 5 to 10 minutes to just sit there and simply talk to make a video a day. It's not crazy to do. It's just uncomfortable. And if you can get comfortable being uncomfortable by doing that, it will pay you dividends in the future. See, this is how I see it. A lot of people, including myself, beginning of my journey, I was very uncomfortable speaking on camera. I hated it. I thought I sucked. I did. It was pretty bad. If you could see some of the first videos I ever tried to speak on camera, they were bad. But through practice, and I'm not even that great yet, I'm at the point where I can consistently do it and not die from cringe overload or self criticism. I'm at the point now where I can do it a lot more consistently. But you're going to not be good at it at the beginning. And if you can learn to just suffer through that and just continue to do it, what you're going to do is you're building a source, a signal antenna for the world, for opportunity to come to you. Because every time you put out a video, you're comfortable talking to the world, to an audience. You're getting opportunity. You're gaining opportunity through this. Just by putting out a simple video like this, hitting upload, maybe, 20 people watch it, maybe 100 people watch it. But if you do that every single day, let's say 100 people watch the video, which in YouTube standards is quite literally nothing. But if 100 people are watching that video, and you do that 7 days a week, that's 700 people that you've talked to in a week. Think about when was the last time you spoke to 700 people? Most people don't do that in a year. At least in a conversation form like this. Maybe you're walking through the grocery store, you say, excuse me, or, you see friends at a party, blah, blah, blah. You're most likely not speaking to 700 people in 1 year, unless you're a big networking business person, which you're already on that road, probably making content. But 100 views per video, 7 days a week, you're getting 700 new opportunities of people that are coming across your page, seeing what you're about. And those are opportunities. Those are opportunities for connection, for friendships, for networking, for business, for anything that you can imagine. You don't know what the universe might want to bring your way by just simply bringing you opportunity, from you allowing yourself to be seen, to be perceived. You can learn to do that. And guarantee you, after some time, after you get better at it, and after you're consistent with it, it's going to be a lot more than 100 views per video. It might be 500 views. It might be 1,000 views, which is still so low in YouTube by most YouTube standards. The videos we watch, say 1,000 views, and you put one video out 7 days. That's 7,000 people you talk to in a week. People don't do that in 5 years, sometimes a lifetime. There are some people that really don't talk to that many people in their lifetime. This is the power of the internet. This is the power of online space. Everyone wants to make content. People are doing the edits. People are doing the studios, making it look pretty, doing this, doing that, which is great. It's great. But it's like the equivalent of that person it's their first week in the gym, and they're buying every supplement from bodybuilding.com that's telling them this is gonna get you to your goal quicker, or they're buying, all the accessory stuff that you see people in the gym wearing. Nothing wrong with it, but your intentions are not in the most efficient place, because you want to build those foundations. I'm not clear of this, because at the beginning of my fitness journey, I definitely was buying supplements. I thought I needed this type of accessory, or all these different things. And I quickly realized that actually wasn't doing anything. It's the actual work, it's the nutrition, it's the consistency. It's the very basic things that people don't want to do. So they try to outsource the work to these purchases, which can work, but it's a sand foundation. It's not going to be very stable going forward. The workouts, consistent, the nutrition, clean eating, and the adequate rest, and understanding your body, understanding what it needs, what it likes, how it works is the foundation. Same thing with making content. So the ability to do this, getting on camera, making a one-shot video of you speaking, practicing being more coherent time and time again, focusing on making it interesting what you're talking about, and being consistent with that without all the extras, the studios, the crews, the edits, the fancy stuff that does make it look good. But you want that foundation set. I promise you, you can do this. This is going to create so much more opportunity later. With working out, again, say you stuck to those foundations for so long without the extra purchases where you felt like, where a lot of people, they immediately go to. Instead of, or when you get those foundations set and you do it for 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 years, and then you start adding in all the things that people like to buy at the very beginning, that's when they're going to have a massive plus in whatever you're doing. You start buying the supplements once you master the foundations, the fundamentals of working out. It's easy. You can do it in your sleep, waking up, hitting the gym, eating right, being disciplined with your diet, your nutrition, and doing it on a consistent basis, getting to bed early, waking up early, getting a full 8 hours of sleep, or whatever best suits your need for that program or whatever you're kind of doing at the time. Say you do that for years on end, and you can do it in your sleep. Then you start adding in the accessories, the supplements. A lot of bodybuilders do that. Ronnie Coleman, one of the greatest bodybuilders of all time, he worked out up until like the age of 30, 31, 32. Nothing. He just ate right, worked consistent, and worked hard. And then mid-30s, he started taking steroids. And because he had that foundation so set, he skyrocketed to the top of the Olympia because he already had that foundation set. And then he hit that nitro button at the perfect time, and it skyrocketed him into the number one spot. So when you take what I've said and really understand that it's this right here, speaking to the camera, speaking to the audience, making sense of it, being consistent, you're gonna get better and better. And you're just gonna constantly keep getting better, and you're gonna even become more consistent. Maybe you can do more output. And over time, from doing that, you're just going to become such a savage at what actually needs to be done. And that's hitting that red record button and talking to the camera and making content. Say you do this for 5 years. You become, just like I say with bodybuilding or working out, you can do it in your sleep. It becomes so easy that you can do it in your sleep. Then you get a studio. Then you get a camera crew. Then you get an editor. You do all these extra things that people like to do at the beginning before they have the camera presence. So that's my video today. I really want people to understand the basics, the foundation, the fundamentals of anything you do early on. A lot of people like to skip it because they want immediate results and they want to do it without the actual work. So they go to things that they think can get them the results that they want quicker without doing the part that no one wants to do. You're doing two things wrong right there. One, you're skipping the meat and the potatoes, the structure, the things that's gonna keep the house erect. You're doing that, you're skipping it, so it's not stable. And then two, you're mentally not gaining the insight that you need, the growth, the transformation, the evolution of who you are, that can just simply maintain and carry that out easily with your eyes closed in your sleep. And I think it begins with the body. If you can learn to really do that with your body, you can apply that concept in anything and everything that you do, which I think making content is so important for the future. I think the world is evolving at a very quick pace, it's evolving very quickly. And I think the ability to communicate, express one's ideas are going to be so important in order to make an income going forward into the future, right? With AI happening and jobs, people being replaced, things getting automated, there's going to be much less things you can just, okay, fuck my evolution. I'm going to just focus on this job and they're gonna pay me every single week and I can make money and survive. Meanwhile, the mechanisms that make you never get addressed because you're constantly focused on, okay, well, I just have to do this job and they'll pay me and I keep a roof over my head and I can have the things that I want to have. And I don't have to address what's happening within me. I can just do this and they're gonna pay me. Nothing wrong with that. That's how the world's been for a very long, since forever. Well, now we got robots to do that shit. And now the only way to make money, instead of you having to do something, it's through who you are. And so who are you? A lot of people don't know that question. When you start to understand who you are, you can start building who you want to become. And I think being on camera, expressing yourself, talking about your ideas, building a community, and doing it right through the fundamentals, the foundations of simply just getting on camera and talking, riffing, having a conversation with people who are watching. This is going to change your life. This is what you want to do because it's going to not only transform your exterior life and your places you can live, the way you can live, the places you can go, things you can have, because it's going to create so much abundance. But the more important part, the most important part, and this is why I think maybe God is having things go this direction, is because you get to a place of inner peace. Because once you understand who you are and who you want to become, you begin to make that journey, you wake up every day feeling at peace, feeling abundant, you feel good, you feel like there's a reason every day. A lot of the negativity in this world stems from people not knowing who they truly are and living in identities that have been sold to us, right? Through whatever, media, politics, music, whatever your attention is on is an identity that you unknowingly purchased, and it's become who you are. But when you start to really understand who you are, you can still enjoy that stuff, but who you are is unique, and you start to love that about yourself. And yeah, it's a beautiful thing. So that's the video today. Start making content, just focus on the fundamentals, get on camera, make a 20-minute long video. Start with 5 minutes, then go to 10, then 15, then to 20. And if you can do that day in and day out, you get better at speaking and you post it every single time. Keep posting it, because remember, that fear of being perceived is one of the it's one of the biggest fears. Public speaking is something that people really fear. And it's because we like to control the perception of ourselves to the world, and it's really can be scary for most people to be perceived outside the way that they want to be perceived, because it feels like an attack on the mind, which is actually just an attack on your ego. your ego is not in control. So it's not very comfortable. You know what I'm saying? So when you are able to practice speaking on video, you constantly put that out to be judged, to be perceived however somebody wants to perceive. It doesn't change who you are. It doesn't change anything. That person can think anything that they want. But it gives you the power back to yourself by this on camera, you and me, you can do it.